106038. That's what I thought it. 106038. Okay. Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful way to start the day. I'm glad to see everyone. Yeah, I hope everyone is well. Happy birthday to my dear brother Paul. Many, many wishes, and yeah, may your devotional service be blessed forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And Dana, call me. So, okay, good morning. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, friends, today we're discussing, let's see, can I see everyone and also see what I'm reading? Chapter 60 of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, text 38 today. Okay, so let's begin, and I hope we can have a really nice discussion about this. These are really powerful verses. This whole pastime is incredible. It's dramatic, it's entertaining, it's comical, it's there's serious philosophy here. It's so many things, layers upon layers of meaning, of understanding, of realization. So yeah, we're very blessed and fortunate to be here. Okay, so 106038. Let's see. Tvam vai samasta purushartha maya phalatma yadvanchaya sumatayo vrishajanti kritsnam teshang vivo samuchito bhavata samajam pumshastriyascha ratayo sukadukinornam. Okay, shout out to all the Sanskrit teachers. Don't get mad at me for mispronouncing things. Okay, translation. You are the embodiment of all human goals and are yourself the final aim of life. Desiring to attain you, O all-powerful Lord, intelligent persons abandon everything else. It is they who are worthy of your association, not men and women absorbed in the pleasure and grief resulting from their mutual lust. Purport. Here, Queen Rukmini refutes Lord Krishna's statement in text 15. And in text 15, Lord Krishna says to Rukmini, marriage and friendship are proper between two people who are equal in terms of their wealth, birth, influence, physical appearance, and capacity for good progeny, but never between a superior and an inferior. In fact, only those who have given up all such material conceptions of sense gratification and have taken exclusively to the Lord's loving service can understand who their real friend and companion is, Lord Sri Krishna himself. It's amazing. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, well, thank you very much for inviting me here today. It's such a blessing because it's when I want to be in the association of devotees and read and think about, study, contemplate, get out of the usual going here, doing this, way of being. It gives me an opportunity to read and to think about and to contemplate and meditate and pray and realize that There's more to, just the things that go on in my head and the little goals that we have from day to day, right? It reminds me of what is the actual goal of our practice of our life. And okay, so we have this verse. And let's see, did anyone consider why is it in the purport that Rukmini is refuting a prior statement? What is it about that statement that Lord Krishna made that requires it to be refuted, or lends itself to that? And so let's think about that. So he's saying, he's basically saying, if we've gone through the other verses in this chapter, he's basically saying, I'm not good enough for you. I don't have anything. He's saying all these other kings, all these other warriors, they have beauty, they have wealth, they have power, and I have no one. I have nothing. I don't have any of these things. And actually, it's probably detrimental to your life that you're with me. He actually says that. He says society doesn't approve of this kind of relationship where the man has nothing. And so he's making these points that he doesn't have anything, and he's questioning, why are you even here? It's not in your best interest. And he says, look, the only people that hang around me are those who equally have nothing. And so, you're probably better off over there. And no one, he says in one of the verses, no one who has anything worships me. And he's speaking about material things, material wealth in the material world, and material conceptions of what is appropriate and what is necessary. He makes this reference when he says society won't approve. And we can see this, right? I mean, if people, usually you can see it in maybe a parental relationship. Let's go with the example that he gave of marriage and between a man and a woman. If your daughter is going to be married, and the man in question maybe doesn't have a job, doesn't have any money, doesn't have an apparent future, then the first thing that happens is the parents worry. And maybe even her friends and family will say, I'm concerned about your future, I'm concerned about your life. And so socially, it may not be the most acceptable thing. I mean, this is the foundation of like every rom-com movie out there is, girl falls in love with boy appears to have nothing, and then somehow they create things together. It's a common plot. So he's referring to this. He's speaking about he's speaking in the material sense, like, look, I have nothing, why are you even hanging out with me? Perhaps you should rethink this situation. Look at all those other people, they have everything, and society will approve. Okay, so then this is the verse that Rukmini comes back with. These are the words of her refuting his argument that he doesn't have anything and that he's actually not good for her. So I just want to move this camera 1 second. Okay, so let's read that again. So then she says to him, so after he says, I don't have anything and no one who has anything is my friend, that's basically what he's saying. She says to him, you are the embodiment of all human goals, and are you yourself the final aim of life. Desiring to attain you, O all-powerful Lord, intelligent persons abandon everything else. So now she's referring to those material things. It is they who are worthy of your association, not men and women absorbed in pleasure and grief resulting from their mutual lust. So she's saying it's not about having things that makes someone worthy of being with you. Actually, those who have given up everything, who see the real value in things, they're the only ones that can hang out with you. So it makes you question. He's saying, well, the people that like me, basically, they don't have anything. But then she's making the argument that maybe she's making the argument that they have everything. So that's what we're going to get into. Okay, so just getting into the Sanskrit here, the word artha is used, the goals, the aim, purpose, the cause, the motive, the reason. And she's saying you are the embodiment of all human goals. So what is a goal? A goal is an end toward which we put effort. We have our effort, we have our endeavors, and we direct it towards an end. That's a goal. And if we think about, even in our own lives, just consider, of all the things that I direct my efforts to, just consider those goals. It's good to take stock of, what am I moving towards every single day? If we're blessed with the ability to get out of bed and to actually do something, whether it's whatever it is that we're endeavoring to do in a day, usually it's taking care of ourselves, our families, our spaces, in one way or another. But of all the things that we direct efforts to, are we clear about those goals? Am I moving in a direction of something? How often has it happened? Well, it happens to me a lot, where you look back and you're like, wow, I didn't have like people talk about this 5-year plan. What's your 5-year goal, or your 10-year goal, or your life goal? And if we don't consider those things, the time will pass by and we'll realize, well, I didn't really direct my efforts to anything that is of any value. And that happens. And if we're lucky enough to realize that while we still have time left, that's a huge blessing. So, and it's also a huge responsibility. Viktor Frankl, who's an author, he had this theory of meaning, right? That we give meaning to things, and we're the only ones that can do it. We're the only ones that can give meaning to our life, and therefore have a goal. And so we're free to do that, but we're responsible to do that because no one else is going to do it for us. So we get to choose, what is my goal? What do I want to move towards? So how is it that Krishna is the goal of life? This is what Rukmini is saying. And so the question is, well, how is that it's happening that way? It's because there's nothing outside of Krishna. There's nothing outside of the absolute truth. There's no other thing. There's no second thing. It's just the one. And so the illusion is that we think that we're separate from him and that he's not there. But there, again, there's no place where the absolute truth is not present. And even if we look through the entire creation, through all the universes, through all the worlds, all the planets, let's even say that there are, there's this idea that there are other like universes, right? Parallel existences or different things going on, dimensions. Whether that's true or not is not what we're discussing. But even, let's just say that for argument's sake, there is, or there are these things. We can explore through all of them and go as far as we can imagine, but there isn't anything other than the absolute truth. There isn't a place where you say, okay, here's the limit of the absolute truth, and now I go outside of it, and now I'm somewhere else. It doesn't work that way. There's nothing else. So ontologically, there's nothing else. There's nowhere else to be. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, I found these really cool verses in the 21st chapter. Text 55 and 57, where Lord Chaitanya is describing the worlds, basically, the abode of Krishna. And he says, the spiritual world is considered to be 3/4 of the energy and opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas this material world is only 1/4 of that energy. That is our understanding. And 2 verses later, he says the 3/4 part of Lord Krishna's energy is beyond our speaking power. Let us therefore hear elaborately about the remaining 1/4 of his energy. That's here. That's where we are now. The spiritual world, that's not this material world, that comprises the larger part of this embodiment that is being described, but we can't even talk about it. So the only thing that we can talk about is right this particular you say expansion or energy of the absolute truth, this manifestation of the absolute truth, that's the only thing that we can talk about. And so it's not like Krishna or the absolute truth is over there, and then we're trying to talk about it. We can't even talk about that. That's what he's saying. Lord Chaitanya is saying this. So the only thing we have is here. And it's not like the absolute truth isn't here. It just doesn't work that way. That's the good news for this morning. Okay. So we've established there's nowhere else to be. There's nothing else. So is this why he's the only shelter? Because there's no other place to be. Your only shelter is Krishna, because there is no other shelter. There's no other bus stop to stand under. This is it. This is the one. This is the existential bus stop. And so going to the absolute truth, having a relationship with Krishna, to go to Krishna, we use these terms all the time. Do we consider what they mean? Going back to Godhead. What does that mean? Going back home. It's not just a place, because we can't even talk about being there, then it's not just about going there, as if we didn't have Krishna or couldn't understand the absolute truth unless we were there. So it's not just a place. We don't have to go anywhere. It's also a person. It's a relationship. And so how do I relate to this? My prayer, my understanding, my desire is, don't pray to go anywhere else. Just pray to see that it's right here in that 1/4. And we think about how big existence is. We consider universes and worlds and galaxies and all of these things, different layers of existence. Don't pray to go anywhere. Just pray to see that he's right here. So that 1/4, we think about how big it is. It's enormous. We can't even conceive and get to the end of it. And yet it's the smallest part. But what makes it valuable, what makes it important, is that it's all part of it. We're already under the bus stop. We're already under the shelter. And so what is it? The separation, the idea, the suffering that that he's not here, that the absolute truth isn't here, that it's my happiness, my joy is somewhere else. When I get there, then it'll happen. But we're already in it. We're already in that 1/4. And it's the only thing that we can know as of right now, until we get the understanding of the rest of it. And that doesn't happen by our endeavor. We get the understanding. Krishna says, you get the understanding by which you can come to me. So we have to take responsibility. The separation is ours. It's not his. He didn't leave us. We just can't see. And it's nothing to, we don't get down on ourselves about it. I just can't see. And that's my prayer. Not I need to escape this here, this now, this today, this year, this lifetime, this situation, this circumstances. I just want to see how I'm already part of your energy. I'm already in your embrace. I'm already under your shelter, under your bus stop. That's what I want to see. So it's a matter of free will. And we have to take the responsibility to be on that path, to get on that path, and to make that the goal. So then she says, you're the embodiment of these goals. What is that? So maya is the word that's being used, comprising, full of, made of. To embody something means to give it an expression, to give it form, to give it a concrete body. So it's not an abstract sort of, the absolute truth isn't an idea. It's something real. We'll say, well, I can't touch it, or I can't see, Krishna, he's not standing right in front of me. But just because something's not tangible in the material way, does that make it any less real? So something can be less tangible, but more real. And we can experience that, right? You can say, well, you can't go to the store and buy like an ounce of love, but it's real. I know it's real. I know when I need to be loved, or I need someone, to be my friend, or whatever it is, or we experience pleasure from loving relationships. We know it's real, but you can't, you can't like grow it in a pot per se. Yeah, so something being less tangible doesn't make it any less real. Krishna's tangible. Our senses are just too dull to perceive it. Right? That's where we can't perceive. We barely can understand what's going on right now. If a cat can see better than I can, if a dog can hear better than I can, my senses, I have no hope but to consider using the senses, and in the sense of my senses will tell me everything that's real or not real. It's actually quite depressing to know how limited we are. But okay, there's good news. The fact that we're in human forms, that's our saving grace, because she's saying you're the embodiment of all human goals. She didn't say you're the embodiment of all the goals of all the living things. She's saying all human goals. So we are actually perfectly situated right here, right now, in this 1/4 of the existence, this 1/4 that is part of what comprises the entire thing. And that perfectly situated situation is our human existence. The fact that we're sitting here talking about it. So that cat can see better than I can, the dog can hear better than I can, but they don't have Krishna as a goal. They don't have the understanding and the relationship with the absolute truth and the person who embodies, who is that absolute truth. They don't have that as a goal. And so now we're starting to consider, okay, what does it actually mean to have something? He's talking about, well, I don't have anything. And she's saying, you don't have to have anything. You are everything. And so, yeah, it's just beautiful the way this interaction, the things that they're saying to each other. And I was reading this, and one of the reasons I thought this was so comical, other than he's clearly just having fun with her, but it's one of those things where he's saying, yeah, I'm not really good for you. And then he knows that she's going to say, no, you're the only thing that I want. It's kind of like you have these ways of speaking with someone, like, yeah, no, you'd say to your friend, like, you don't love me. You don't really need me here, and just they'll say, no, of course I love you. Of course I need you. So it's this dynamic that they're playing at the moment. Okay, time check. Okay, so now she's saying, well, intelligent people are the ones who are in your association, are worthy of your association. So what does that mean? Is it that some people are worthless and others are worthy? What does that actually mean? It's not, this is a really important point, because sometimes we can forget this. It's a small distinction. It's not that we're worthless, or the people that are being referred to in this in this verse, being attached to the happiness and the suffering and the lust and the objects of lust, the things that I think I want and I think I need. It's not that we're worthless when we forget. It's that we're attached to those things that are worthless, ultimately. And so that's really important. We are the most worthy. By nature, we are the most worthy. We just forgot. So we are worthy, but we only get access to that association when we pay attention and just know what's worthy, what's not, what's valuable, what's not. Rukmini's paying attention. She's paying attention to the person that is beyond what we think is valuable. You don't get to be in Krishna's association the way Rukmini is fanning him by not paying attention. It just doesn't happen that way. And the expansion, or think about the goddess of fortune, right, who's always in Krishna's association. You don't get to the position of goddess of fortune by not paying attention, by not knowing what's what's valuable and what's not valuable. So when we pay attention, then we know what true wealth is and what has true value, what's going to last, what is eternal. When all of these material things decompose, what's left behind, what's going to endure. And this is the harsh reality of life, because at some point we're going to lose all the things that we hold dear, all the people, all those relationships in one way or another, or they're going to lose us, and it's going to hurt. And yeah, we're going to cry, we're going to be, just kind of bewildered, but we don't lose our person, this absolute truth, that person that embodies all of it. We don't ever lose that. And that's the other side of the reality of life. How could we lose it when he's the embodiment of the goal itself, of the place, Godhead, and he is the person, Godhead. So how could you, and it's everywhere, we can't lose it. And so understanding what's valuable in any moment, that's what she's referring to as the intelligence. So it's going back to that verse when he said, look, only people who don't have anything like to hang out with me. And it's not that they don't have anything, is that they're not attached to things that are worthless. We have to live in this world. We have to, have things, buy things, make money, or whatever it is. But it's about knowing what's what. So she's saying, well, those people who are absorbed in pleasure and grief, they're not worthy of your association. And again, it's not because we're bad people or, we're idiots or something like that. It's not that. It's just that when we're absorbed in the pleasure and grief, we just can't pay attention to what's worthy or not. I mean, think about the last time you were in some bewilderment or some grief, or even got this bewildered by pleasure, like happiness. Something good happens and, we're just kind of, there can be a sort of bewilderment of just forgetting, oh yeah, this happiness is just watch how it comes, it goes. And so when we're like that, we can't really pay attention in the way that we need to. And so that's why equanimity is spoken about so much. And so, okay, she's saying those who are attracted to each other in mutual lust. So this mutuality is important to understand. We're in it together. It's not just the men, it's not just the women. We're all misdirecting our desires, right? Forgetting the ultimate goal. And experiencing this material happiness and distress, that's where the misery comes. Yeah, the miseries are going to come. They're going to continue to come. This is actually another really important point of this, is that they're not going to stop coming. They're actually built in to that 1/4 of existence, into the material world. They're built in. And if we're expecting to finally stop experiencing disappointment in this world, like, well, okay, yeah, one day I'll be happy, one day it'll all just be good. Good luck. That in itself is going to be the disappointment, that we thought we weren't going to be disappointed anymore. And so what do? The option is to use that happiness and distress as the doorway to get back home, to get back to the absolute truth, to get back to Krishna. And we've already established it's not just the place over there that I can't access, not even with my mind, because that's what the verse said. It's just a matter of remembering him. When I remember him, oh, I understand now. So that's how we get back to Krishna, by being attentive like Rukmini in any given moment. So that's why we're here, right? To remember, to remind each other, even for a split second, that our person is already here, that we're already in that loving relationship, in friendship, in intimacy, in parenthood, in everything. And so let's see, okay, the conclusion, the prayer again is to be able to see correctly, because when I don't see correctly, when I don't perceive, I feel alone, afraid, anxious, right? These are all the things that happen when we think that we're somehow outside of that shelter, that there's something else. When I forget that there isn't anything else, and I'm never alone, I mean, that's when all the trouble starts, right? And can ruin your whole day if you just, it happens. We get into these, we forget. It's natural. We start to feel alone, like, oh my God, no one understands what was going to happen. You start to feel hopeless. You get afraid of the future. Oh my God, I won't have anything. You get anxious. What am I supposed to be doing? Right? These are all the manifestations of exactly what's being talked about here. What am I supposed to be doing? What am I going to have? And who's going to be there with me? What we're supposed to be doing is having a very clear understanding of our goal. And it's not a should, it's a could. He doesn't say, well, you should make this the goal of your life. I mean, we can make that argument, but it's the reality of it is, like Viktor Frankl was saying, it's our responsibility. You could make him the goal of your life and just see it and realize it. And then there's the what I should do. And then being afraid and anxious, will I have this? Will I have that? Doesn't matter, because I already have everything if I can remember that he is everything and is everywhere. And then I'm not alone. Okay, and then 5 minutes later, me personally, I'll forget again. I'll be in misery. I'll need to call a friend. And then someone will remind me, okay, you're not alone. Everything's okay. Remember the absolute truth. Remember the goal. Otherwise, I'm just wasting my time going through all these little goals that aren't going to give me anything of any value. They're not going to last. That's what it's talking about. The people who are not intelligent, who are just making efforts for goals that don't actually have any substance, any reality to them. And so that's the blessing of at least what's being said here, or that I can recognize, is that the blessing is to be able to recognize that there is no other purpose. Everything else is just temporary. It's not eternal. And when I can see that, oh, okay, for at least for a moment, everything's okay. And so we may not know for sure. Maybe, we've all forgotten. That's the whole point of this. But we've heard it from those that know, right? Bhagavad Gita, Tattva Darshinaha, the seers of the truth. And the seers of the truth have what? Samadarshinaha. They can see with equal vision. And what is the equal vision of the wise? This is Bhagavad Gita. The equal vision of the wise is to see the Lord in everything and in everyone. It's not just, oh, I see the Lord in the hearts of others. It's in everything and in everyone. And so I'll end with this, that I brought up the Chaitanya Charitamrita, 21st chapter, and where Lord Chaitanya is describing the 3/4 of the energy of the personality of Godhead, and then the 1/4 where we are. And at the beginning of this I'm really excited about this, because this is like a bomb dropping. At the very beginning of this chapter, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who's giving the summary of this chapter in Madhya Lila, he's offering obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is an expansion of Krishna, who is Krishna, basically. And he says, offering my obeisances unto Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, let me describe a particle of his opulence and sweetness. He is most valuable for a fallen, conditioned soul bereft of spiritual knowledge. Most valuable. That really caught my attention. And then it says, and he is the only shelter for those who do not know the real goal of life. There's no escaping it. So if we know the real goal of life, he's our only shelter. And if we don't know the real goal of life, he's our only shelter. There's no escaping the Transcendental bus stop. It just is everywhere. So I don't know that he's the real goal of life. No problem. I'm still under his shelter. I know that he's the real goal of life. Great. He's still my shelter. So there's a hymn in the Mahabharata Twameva mata chapita twameva, twameva bandhu cha saka twameva, twameva vidya dravinam twameva, twameva sarvam mama deva deva. And that was a prayer, that was a hymn that was spoken to Krishna by, I think, one queen or another. You are my mother, you are my father, you're my brother, you're my friend, you're my knowledge, you're my wealth, you're my everything, you are the God of gods. And yeah, those are some thoughts about this morning. Very exciting. I mean, wow. So what say you, dear friends? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lila Didi. Wonderful class. It was worth the wait. Question, if I may. When we have a very strong material desire, maybe a career or like a marriage, successful marriage or body goal, and then we join the Krishna consciousness movement, and that desire kind of goes in the background. And then we practice bhakti for a while, but then over time, that desire kind of comes back and starts bothering us again. And what's a good strategy to deal with that? Should we just keep going with our bhakti disregarding the desire, or maybe we should go back to it and try to satisfy it in Krishna conscious manner? What's a good strategy? How to deal with a material desire that keeps popping up and bothering us, despite us being situated in Krishna consciousness?
Yeah, that's excellent. I think that's the core, at the core of our practice. But I think one thing that comes to mind is that we can't kid ourselves. The thing that brought us here were our desires, and to pretend that we don't have them is only going to bring us back. And so better to be honest about my desires, because they're actually what brought me here. Not only did they bring me here, they created this body, my subtle body, my mind, my intelligence, my situation, my circumstances, all of it. It's created by my desires. And so to pretend that if I don't look at them, they're not really there. Well, I mean, we can try it, but it's like playing whack-a-mole with your desires. You think you knock that one out and it's going to pop out over here somewhere. Our only chance of making it is to be honest about these desires and try to fulfill them in a higher consciousness with a higher taste. Understanding, okay, here's a desire. That same desire has that same it can have a layer or an aspect of it that is material and sometimes even degrading, and it's just going to cause me to flip-flop back and forth with happiness and distress. But that same desire can actually be engaged engaged with a higher consciousness. All of these desires have another level, a layer of a higher taste, because Krishna built it in that way. No matter what your desire is, and this could be a whole other conversation, there's a higher taste in there. There is a positive need underneath all of that. All needs are positive. Our strategies may not be so conducive all the time. So let's just say you brought up marriage. Let's just say I have a desire to have companionship, to be in a relationship with a person. That desire, that need for companionship, for love, for intimacy, those are all positive needs. There's nothing wrong with them. I can go and fulfill that desire in a way that degrades me and makes me totally unhappy. It doesn't actually get me anywhere. Or I can take those same desires and actually try to achieve it in a Krishna conscious way. So how can I will choose a partner who's actually going to help me remember that I'm an eternal soul, and we're going to try to build something lasting together, as in our spiritual life. And then we'll still have the intimacy, the companionship, and the love that we need. But the strategy is different. If, okay, let's just say I like to have fun, or whatever it is. Okay, there's this way that I like to have fun. I can do that in a way that degrades me. I can go out late at night, go to parties, find a bar, take drugs, all of these things. Or I can say, okay, there's a propensity to have fun, to enjoy. So you go hang out with devotees, you go dance, you go sing, you go eat. I mean, it's built into it. It's the same need, but the strategies are different. And that just goes down to the guna. So yeah, we got to be real about our desires and our needs, and just get down to that core need that is built into this. I mean, the soul itself, who we are, pleasure-seeking things. We can't escape that. And to try to pretend that we're not, that's, it's not fooling. It's certainly not fooling Krishna. We can fool ourselves, but anyway, that's just a thought.
Thank you, Lila. Yeah, can't fool Krishna. That's my takeaway. Thank you. Okay, open mic moment, dear devotees. Let's do it. We're entering
Damodar Priya has her hand up.
Hare Krishna, dear Lila Prabhu, my dear sister. Even Paul, who heard you, was like, Leela's fired up this morning. And I was like, as always, she is. That's so great. So I just wanted to reflect back that what really touched me was this whole idea about not praying to get away from the circumstances, whether it's the material world or whatever circumstances are challenging us in that moment, but it's really about praying to see Krishna where we are and recognizing that we're already under his shelter at that time. And I would even put it a step further of recognizing that we can serve him in those circumstances or in that place, right? And when I go a step further, it made me think, well, before we can progress to the spiritual world, part of it, from what I hear that you're saying, and just from my introspection, is we have to accept here in this material world, Krishna's service and shelter, and seeing Krishna where we are. And then that will then allow us, if that's what he so desires, right? Because actually Brahmatirtha Prabhu, when he gave class earlier this week, he was teaching us that beautiful prayer, or the beginning of the prayer that he said Srila Prabhupada taught them, my dear Lord, if you so desire. So it just, it kind of brought it all together for me. So I really appreciate your enthusiasm, your introspection, and your heart full of bhakti. And I love you very much.
Oh, Jai. Yeah. Oh my God. Service. Yes, that we can actually do something that is lasting, right? That one thing given in bhakti, in love, in selflessness lasts forever. Yeah, thank you. Jai Shri Shri Radha Mulidhar, Gaurachandra.
Looks like you have to turn a little bit to the right. Yeah.
Jai.
Hari Purusham.
Jai, 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 Hare Krishna. All right, wonderful class, Lila Devi. It was so nourishing, so wonderful. Thank you so much. Very Krishna conscious and psychophysical nature oriented class. Those things are needed. We have to do something with our psychophysical nature. Don't pretend it's not there, like Lila Devi said. Give it to Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krishna. Krishna's bus is coming. Jeffrey Eckler is driving it while chanting. Yeah. And pray to see the bus. Don't miss the bus. Rush to the bus stop every morning. Yeah. Okay, who wants to speak? Go ahead. It's Friday. Everybody should be happy. Prashant.
Oh, yeah. Happy Friday.
I just want to thank you, Lila Devi Dasi, for the class. And even if advanced devotees like you have to remember sometimes, then it shows that we shouldn't lose hope, and that if we momentarily slip, we just need to remember, pray, and hope for better. So you really inspired me.
Oh, Hare Krishna. Yeah, far from advanced. I think it comes from a place of always being wretched and miserable. And then reading the Bhagavatam and saying, okay, there's a little bit of hope here. Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhu. Wow, what a beautiful community.
Yeah.
I missed you guys.
Yeah, we got children.
Oh,
We got,
yeah.
we have, okay, Stephanie has her hand up. Stephanie.
Hare Krishna, I'm so grateful to be here this morning. Lila Devi Dasi, thank you so much for your association. This class was really profound and powerful for me to remind me that when I am sticking to my core values in this life and in my human experience, and those core values are aligning with Krishna, that my goal is met so long as I don't veer away from those core values, and that boundaries are necessary to keep in that alignment of Krishna consciousness. So thank you so much.
Oh, Jai, thanks, Stephanie. Yeah, I mean, the goals are hard, and then we just need the one, and then everything else is okay. Yeah, those SMART goals, I can't bring myself to do it. It's like, too much thinking about goals. But this is attainable because it's just about a loving relationship. That's all I need to do. Just love. And it counts. It's lasting. So thank you. Yeah. Thanks for mentioning that. So let's not get down on ourselves when we don't have these like fantastical goals. We have the goal of all goals, the embodiment of all goals in Krishna. Yeah.
Lila Devi, such a wonderful point that you made, that in Krishna consciousness, things are lasting. And I was reflecting about that. I was thinking everything I've tried so far in life is gone. My family, as I know, is gone. My childhood friends are gone. Everything is gone except my Krishna consciousness association, my practice. Srila Prabhupada is not going anywhere. Those things are lasting, right? Thank you for making this point.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I hope everyone has a beautiful weekend with some appropriate goals.
Friday night goals. Go to bed early. Rise
Yeah,
early,
yeah, yeah.
like
Yeah, it's
Narottam
amazing how it
characterized.
changes. Yeah, what we come to
Oh, the
value.
Bhima
Bhima Prabhu.
What are your Friday night goals on the farm? I'm curious.
I was listening to the class. I have one headphone in and one out, so that I can hear what's going on with the animals. And I have I'm hearing Lila Dasi speak about Krishna and Rukmini and the ever-present embrace of Krishna and the ever-present embrace of Krishna. And I'm underneath the my cherry tree here, my weeping cherry, and it's covered with bumblebees, and they're all chanting. It's like this Hare Krishna, you know. So it's really wonderful. And then I have the sparrows, the swallows, the cardinals, and the blue jays in their dawn chorus here. And so I have in one ear all this wonderful reminder of Krishna, and then in the other ear I have Lila Devi with a melody just like that. As you can see, my horses are getting out of control, so I have to end this monologue. But thank you very much. I could hardly tell the difference between the beauty that surrounds me and the beauty of our conversation about Krishna and Rukmini. Hare Krishna.
Wow, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Bhima Prabhu, for that reminder. Yeah, it's everywhere. And yeah, even in this little span, I forgot. And then you mentioned the trees and nature. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the 1/4. We're in it. Sharmila. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much for the beautiful class. And thank you for reminding about the beautiful prayer. Tume hu mata pita tume hu. That is such a beautiful prayer. And we have to kind of constantly remind ourselves when we feel alone and deserted that, Krishna is there. He's the only one who matters and he's there for us. So thank you very much, Hare Krishna.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah, I think it's different for everyone, but I think for me, just holding on to the devotees, just holding on for dear life, just call them, message them, harass them, whatever it is, stalk them if you need to, but just don't let go of the devotees. And I'm saying this to myself because yeah, it's easy to feel anxious and afraid and alone and then just keep going with that. But yeah, just hold on to the lotus feet of the devotees. That's all we've got.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's a very timely message for me. Thank you very much. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
just let's not get arrested by stalking devotees, but yeah. In 20 years, this is it. This is our community, right? In 20 years, some of us will come and go, but this is it. We're gonna go through it together. Krishna willing, we'll all be in each other's association. So this is so important.
Thank you.
And I value all of you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I don't have anything. Just want to mention this, that it's just the realization back to the verse. I don't have anything, but I have this association. And so it just goes back to that argument, that philosophical argument with Rukmini and Krishna. Like, you don't need anything. We have the association and the goal.
Yeah, when your spouse asks you for something, for new earrings, that's what you tell them.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Joke. Yeah, Lila Devi.
Get her the earrings, you cheap
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Yeah. Guilty as charged. Okay.
Make your wife happy.
Yeah. That's your instruction, Lila Prabhu.
Just offer the earrings to Krishna first.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every time I get flowers, Chinmay Radha always offers them to Krishna first. That's
Jai.
okay. Anyone else wants to say something? And then we're gonna go out there and practice what we've learned from Lila Devi today. Okay, I don't see hands. I see smiley faces. It's so nice. That's where we want to be, in your association forever, eternally, on Krishna's bus. I feel like I go to my school again. Life is good. Nothing to worry about. Friends on the bus. Yeah. Doesn't get any better than that. Thank you, Lila, for highlighting that. Okay, Hare Krishna. Paul, happy
Hare
birthday.
Krishna, dear friends. Yeah,
Paul,
happy
hold on,
birthday,
hold on.
Paul.
Happy birthday, Paul. Paul, tell us how you came to Bhakti.
Happy birthday.
He's busy doing service, but
He's doing chores. Yeah, put him
he's
to work
busy
on
doing
his
service.
birthday.
But he came to Bhakti thanks to
Through his wife. Through his wife.
Thanks to
So,
me,
yeah.
right? He came to Bhakti thanks to me.
I was going to say that he came through the mercy of the devotees that associated with us, but then Lila jumped in.
Yeah, that's how we all come. We all come through the mercy of other devotees who took the time, blood, sweat, and tears to tolerate us, to help us get on the bus. Yeah. Okay, happy birthday, Paul. We love you. We hope we'll see you. And Hare Krishna, everyone. Lila Devi, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Love to you all.